This is another budding star who is looking to break onto the scene, who gets a very, very challenging UFC veteran. So let's talk about Khizriev, man. This dude beat up Dennis Tululin, right? And looked like a stud doing it. Choked the man out, UFC debut, and we didn't really hear from him after that. It's like, yo, what happened to you? You know what I mean? But what do you get in your second bout in the UFC? You get Makhmud Muradov, bro. You get a dangerous, dangerous UFC veteran who has had a couple of losses, but if you look in the grand scheme of things, man, it's kind of a tough matchup to give somebody who's this new to the UFC, man. Makhmud Muradov is 8-2 in his last 10. Now, Aliaskhab Khizriev is undefeated, 14-0. So this is one, along with another fight on the prelims that we'll talk about in a minute, where it's like, all right, undefeated guy, tough UFC veteran who is really, really skillful. I, again, don't know if I like minus 275, that heavy of a price on the dude who's got one UFC fight fighting a tenured dude like Muradov. Makhmud Muradov. Apologies. The name is messed up. And don't worry about that. All right, AJ, what do you think about this matchup? What do you think about the price?
No, I agree with you, Derek. I do not like that minus 275 for Khizriev, especially because Muradov arguably has the better skill set and everything that Khizriev has. I mean, we saw it in the 12th fight. Yeah, he knows how to get the fight to the ground, and when he does, he knows how to control you and put that smash style on and finish the fight however he wants to do it. But arguably, man, Muradov has the speed, has this striking ability, and also has that same kind of ground game style where he can control you and he can put it to you. I really like Muradov for this fight, and I guess basically because of recency bias, 14-0, it all sounds great that they have him as that big of a favorite. I personally do not see it. Don't get me wrong, though. I do like Khizriev, but I do think his striking and his head movement needs a little bit of improvement because he got cracked a couple times in that 12 fight.
That's right. And the more important thing to me is exactly what you just said. When you have a fighter, and this is going back to the beginning, right? What's the theme? Neutralization. You have a fighter who is pretty well versed at all the things that you're good at. They go to grapple just the way that you go to grapple. Well, what happens when the other parts of the game get unveiled? When it's just straight striking, right? Who's a better striker through and through? You got to give that to Muradov all day long. It's been proven, right? And when you look at his ability to face an overwhelming grappler, Caio Borralho for an example, right? Yeah, he got smashed by him, but then he was also able to reverse position and then still have the confidence to go straight back into the guard and say, now it's my turn to be top control, right? Now, you did get submitted by GM3 Gerald Mearschart. You got, choked out right there. So it's not a good look in terms of the grappling. But if you look at the overall record, man, dude's fought a lot of really good guys, a lot of name value guys. And the most recent win I thought was super impressive because he broke him straight up. Bam Bam, Brian Barberena, who is a striker who doesn't want to grapple. But Muradov mixed it up and turned it into a real MMA fight. So again, do not like the price for Khizriev, even though I like what he brings to the table. Super skillful, great grappler, solid striker. But let's talk about the path to victory for Muradov right here. Plus 155 is the ticket price for the money line. Now, this was at open, AJ. I'm going to pull up what the live odds are. And if it's anything what I think it is, then this is going to go straight into our value bet right here. Would you look at that? Makhmud Muradov plus 125. So Khizriev is actually a minus 150 favorite now. The line is shrinking, folks. This is our thought process right here. So this is why we say tenured veteran, get him in there, test the undefeated guy, and let's see what he's got. I personally think that a TKO and a decision are both viable plays right here in the camp of Muradov. But then again, Khizriev, undefeated, dude. You know what I mean? So, this dude hasn't been lost, clearly hasn't been clipped bad enough to be defeated in that sense. Which one do you like better, TKO or decision?
I actually like the decision, Derek. I do think with the way that Muradov fights and that kind of not necessarily a completely smash style, but he likes to put the pressure on. He likes to beat you up a little bit. I can see Khizriev staying in the fight, maintaining there. They're going to have some back and forth. It might be a washing machine style of fight. That's why I like the decision at plus 335. Man, both these guys can get it done, but I do think the veteranship of Muradov is going to shine right here.
I think that's a fair take. I like Muradov right here across the board. I think that this is a very, very pure value play. You don't find a lot of them on these kinds of cards. But again, when you start searching and you start seeing, okay, beginning, how come the odds were so crazy when it opened and now they're shrinking heavy? This is an opportunity to still cash in on value on Muradov because he just went from plus 155 to plus 125. So it really didn't shrink that much. Give us Makhmud Muradov. I like just the pure underdog value play again right here. I don't think you need to play around with props when you have something like this. But the last piece that we need to touch on, AJ, is when you're looking at the over and under. 1.5 rounds is the over and under, minus 190 for the over. Do you like that?
I like that, Derek. I mean, obviously, like the plus 125, get on that money line when you can, folks, because there's a lot of value there. But I do see this fight going above the or going to the over.
All right, fair enough.